Apple waited almost a decade watching Samsung crease phones like badly folded laundry, and now, in 2026, they've finally snapped. The iPhone 18 lineup just leaked, and buried inside it is Apple's first foldable iPhone, a split launch strategy that feels low-key evil, and hardware so expensive it might require a short meeting with your bank. This isn't just another iPhone refresh, this is Apple changing how iPhones launch, how much they cost, and how far they're willing to go to protect the word premium. And trust me, there's one decision in here that's going to make a lot of people very angry. Stick around because the verdict at the end is not what Apple fans want to hear. For years, iPhone launches have been predictable. Same September window, same models, same ritual of pretending last year's phone suddenly feels ancient. The iPhone 18 lineup throws that playbook straight into the Thames. Apple isn't just adding more phones, they're splitting the launch in half, pushing cheaper models to the following spring, and quietly forcing early upgraders toward the most expensive options. That matters because for the first time, Apple isn't pretending every iPhone customer is equal. If you want in during launch season, you're paying flagship money. If you want value, congratulations, you're waiting 6 months. This isn't about innovation alone, it's about control. Let's start with the headline grabber because Apple finally did the thing, the iPhone Fold. Book-style design, outer display around 5.3 inches, inner display blowing up to roughly 7.6 inches, which makes it the biggest iPhone screen ever and also the most expensive way to check Instagram. Folded, it's slim. Unfolded, it's ridiculously thin, hovering around that 4.5 to 4.8 millimeter range, which is don't sneeze near it territory. Apple's obsession here is the crease, or more accurately, pretending creases don't exist. They've allegedly gone all in on titanium, stainless steel, liquid metal hinges, and ultra-thin glass to make the fold nearly invisible. Samsung phones crease, Apple phones architecturally curve. That's branding, baby. Open it up and you're looking at under-display camera tech on the inside with a 24 megapixel sensor, which is wild because under-display cameras usually look like they were filmed through frosted glass. Closed, you get a normal hole punch camera on the outside because Apple still believes compromise should only happen internally, emotionally, and financially. There's no Face ID here, by the way. Touch ID is back, living in a button because physics won this round. And honestly, unpopular opinion, that's not a downgrade, that's a flex. Battery life is equally un-Apple-like in the best way possible, with rumors pointing to somewhere between 5,400 and 5,800 milliamp hours, making it the biggest battery Apple has ever put in an iPhone. That's the kind of number Android users usually yell online like it's a personality trait. But before you celebrate, pricing lands like a brick. Estimates put this thing anywhere from $1,800 to $2,500. That's not expensive phone money. This phone has its own tax category money. Now here's where specs stop being numbers and start messing with your actual life. Imagine commuting, phone folded, one-handed, texting like a normal human. Then you sit down on a train, open it up, and suddenly you've got a mini iPad for emails, editing photos, or doom scrolling with commitment. Content creators are going to love this thing. Casual users are going to panic the first time it slips out of their hands. And if Apple really nails the crease-free display, this becomes the first foldable that doesn't constantly remind you it's fragile. That matters, because foldables don't fail on innovation, they fail on trust. Compared to Galaxy Fold or Pixel Fold, Apple isn't chasing first place in features. They're chasing first place in polish. Other foldables gave us experimentation. Apple wants inevitability. Big outlets are already focused on the hinge, the thickness, the materials, but the real comparison is psychological. Samsung asks, what if your phone folded? Apple asks, Why would you ever want it flat again? And that difference is exactly why they waited this long. Meanwhile, the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max aren't sitting quietly in the corner. Same sizes as before, but potentially heavier, especially the Pro Max, which might become the gym membership of smartphones. Design stays familiar, but the front could lose the dynamic island entirely or shrink it down so much it's basically on life support. Under display Face ID is being tested, argued over, leaked, denied, and releaked, which is Apple rumor season in a nutshell. Here's the take you won't hear enough. The real story isn't the foldable, it's the split launch. By delaying the standard iPhone 18 and 18e to spring 2027, Apple is redefining who the iPhone launch is for. Early adopters are now luxury buyers by default. Budget-conscious users become an afterthought. That's bold, risky, and very on brand for a company that knows exactly how loyal its base is. If you care about resale value, this actually helps. Fewer cheap models at launch means pro models hold value longer. If you care about accessibility, though, this move feels cold, efficient, calculated, almost villainous. Let's be honest, because this isn't sponsored and my soul is still intact. The foldable price is absurd. The weight on Pro Max might be ridiculous. The lack of SIM slots continues Apple's quiet war on physical options. And if under display Face ID doesn't ship, some people are going to feel teased into disappointment. Also, a foldable with only main and ultra wide cameras, no telephoto, at this price, that's a choice. Not a good one, but a choice. So here's the verdict. The iPhone 18 lineup isn't for everyone, and Apple knows it. The foldable is a flex product. The Pro models are refinement machines. And the regular iPhone 18, it's fashionably late. If you want cutting-edge Apple, you'll pay for it. If you want value, you'll wait. Simple as that. Now, I want to know, would you actually buy the iPhone Fold, or is this where Apple finally lost you? Drop your take below. Argue politely like adults. And if this video saved you from accidentally budgeting $2,000 for a phone, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.